Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Pickleball Builders. This is Miles, and we have an awesome guest today. And it's kind of like the talk of the town here in Las Vegas is what is chicken and pickle. So we actually have Chris Fisher, who's actually the director of fun, is the official title, who's joining me, and he's gonna answer all the questions that I have, and I'm sure a lot of the people that are listening have as well.
What's up, Miles?
How are you? So
Doing well, brother.
I know we started the talk before we jumped on the show, and already I was like firing questions, and we're like, wait a second, let's just jump right into it. So yeah, tell me a little bit. I mean, I need to learn this too because I'm in the pickleball community here in Vegas, and everybody wants to know. I first want to know a little bit about you, and also what's all the craze about chicken and pickle that's coming.
Yeah, totally. So let me give you a little bit of the history of chicken and pickle and what you guys can expect to see.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a little bit about myself.
Cool.
So first things first, chicken and pickle started in 2016.
Okay.
Our owner, Dave Johnson, was in the Caribbean one day, and he was at a place called Chicken and Chicken. And he was like, man, this atmosphere is just really cool, hanging outside, meeting friends, and really atmosphere of fun, friendship, and community. And he wanted to take that and he wanted to develop into something that he had here in the States. So he lived in North Kansas City and he created a bar called Chicken and Pickle. And it had a bar and pickleball courts inside of it.
Okay.
And then it's just been lightning in a bottle ever since. And we've grown up to, we're at 7 restaurants now. And we've announced 14 and we got a few more coming over the hurdles. So
That's so
it's
cool.
getting super exciting. Chicken and Pickle's growing, and one of the things we're trying to do is really grow our name in the entertainment space. So basically, come on in, disconnect for a few hours, play pickleball, watch the game, get some wings, great food. My personal favorite sandwich is the NKC Hot.
Okay.
We'll talk about that more later.
Yeah.
But so yeah, just come on in, disconnect for a little bit, and we'll be in Henderson hopefully by summer of next year.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, you said the word entertainment, so you guys obviously picked the right city, being Vegas, right?
Yep.
So where was the first location then for Chicken and Pickle?
First location was in North Kansas City, which is actually a small little, almost business town of Kansas City. It's the Missouri side of it. And it's a small little spot upside there, and it's actually our smallest store. It only sits on about an acre, and they have 8 courts, whereas compared to some of our more modern stores, you're going to find 12, even 14 courts.
Yeah. Well, and I know this is one thing I do know as far as number of courts, because we actually just sent over a proposal, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we do a lot of pickleball courts here in Las Vegas, and everything from like new construction to surfacing. So, both in the residential space and the commercial space. So we're like, it's interesting for me. I'm like, I want to do the project just because I love pickleball too, right? I mean, never mind the business side of it. I want to hang out there and
exactly.
yeah. So here's the question. Just some of the questions that I have. So I have trying to get a feel for, what it would be like. So I have, just myself, I have 5 kids, like even my youngest girl that's 6, my little boy that's 7, like even they're saying like, Dad, I want to play pickleball. Like, what is the kind of the target market or like the group of people that would be showing up at a place like this?
So the answer is anybody and everybody. All
Okay.
right. We try to open our doors to absolutely everyone, and we try to provide a variety of programming for people as well. So for somebody like yourself, a dad with the kids, maybe you're a big football fan. Are you?
Well,
Miles?
it's funny you say that. I love football. Grew up watching football.
Okay.
Never played football. But right now I got a son right now that's 10 and a son right now that's 7. And somehow they roped me into coaching flag football. So I'm watching a lot of YouTube. But we won.
Okay,
We
all
won
right.
last week. So I love football. Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. All right. So let's say UNLV is playing on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
And everybody says, you know what, Dad, we want to go play pickleball. We want to watch the game. And then you and the other dads are looking at each other like, oh man, we have to entertain the kids for hours.
Yeah.
So now you book a court at Chicken and Pickle during the UNLV game. Come on in. You guys are letting the kids play while you have screens that are right there at the courts. So you can sit there and watch the game and go play between quarters and kick them off, make sure they eat their attendees or even
Yeah.
their kids quesadillas throughout that time. And then afterwards, if you guys still want to hang out, dads want to have a few more beers, you guys walk on over and then start playing cornhole or shuffleboard or anything outside. Let the kids run around, play with the hula hoops.
Yeah.
We also are addressing the very competitive player as well because we run leagues throughout the evenings on Mondays through Wednesdays.
Okay.
And so those are building up to even the super competitive players. If you
Okay.
guys actually are paying attention to any of the pro scene, we sponsor a lot of the big name pros like Lauren Stratman, Ben Newell, Tyson McGuffin. These are all great people that we have inside that help us cover that range and meet the aspect of all types of players at Chicken and Pickle.
That is super cool. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Literally this morning, I had an appointment with a gentleman, and
Yeah.
like they have an Airbnb, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to put 2 pickleball courts at this Airbnb," and it
Okay.
actually got brought up even just in my conversation this morning. The guy's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, did you hear about so Chicken and Pickle's coming, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I totally know. Like everybody knows, right?" Even though
Yeah.
Vegas is it's interesting. Vegas is a good sized city, but when you narrow it down to like sports, like I've been doing sports construction in Vegas for like 18 years. When you narrow it down to
Yeah.
sports and then narrow it down even more to like pickleball, it's like everybody kind of knows everybody and kind of what's going on. And he did mention that. He's like, he brought that up to me. He said, for kids, he's like, it's actually like a really cool, he's from Illinois. The
Yeah.
client that I had, but he's like, it's really cool, like kind of the setup they have for kids. Like he was telling me some of I don't know what he was saying, like all these different balls and like it's just that it's
Yeah.
welcoming for kids because sometimes some places you just trust me when I go out with my kids and they're little. I know when I'm in the right place and I know when I'm in the wrong place, right? I'm good at Chick-fil-A when they're bouncing around in the little play area, but I just didn't know, like if is it kids, is it serious players? Because you're kind of starting to speak my language. Like I really got into pickleball, moved to the other side of Vegas so I could put a regulation pickleball court at my house, and I probably think
Oh
I'm better.
man, you got bit by the bug hard.
Oh yeah, and I probably think I'm better. I probably think I'm better than I am. I even got like a coach just because I'm so competitive. But that's what I was thinking. Is I'm like, okay, is this like open play where you're just gonna like bang it around, or is there like are there designated open play courts and designated challenge courts, or does it just depend on the night that you're going to play?
It totally depends on the night that you come in. So we do all of our programming relatively to the market. So as we get closer, we'll be able to tell you guys a lot more. But generally, you can expect open plays in the mornings from about 8 to 10 a.m. And then those will range from either indoors or outdoors. So like the indoor courts may be all seniors, the outdoors may be open up to everybody. Or another day of the week, what we'll do is we'll just do challenge play, but all skill-specific challenge play.
Okay.
So like this court is only for beginners, this court's for intermediates, these two courts are advanced, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But we're going to provide really options for everybody and just something, because one of our biggest things is we want to grow the game as well. So in order to do that, we have to meet every market that we possibly can. So we're going to try to provide stuff for absolutely everybody. Over the summers, you can expect junior kids camps. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yes,
I mean,
the answer is pay
yeah.
attention, and we're going to have everything.
Yeah. Well, we definitely share that same passion. Like we're
Yeah.
very passionate about, like, don't get me wrong. Yes, there's the business side of our business, and then we do sports construction. But not only do I love it for myself, but I love it for my kids. Like, and right now there's just way too many, not too many. Like I love that more and more people are getting into the sport. It's just that ratio of how many courts are available to how many people that want to play, right? So the fact that you guys are tailoring it to everybody, even like the whole indoor thing. I mean, I'm from Utah, where there's I don't know if you've ever heard of like the Pickler, but like they have like a lot of indoor courts, and yeah, in Utah it's cold, right? Like I'm thinking, oh, it makes sense, it's cold. But here, I mean, I want to play year round, but I'll play at like 6 a.m. and it's 95 degrees at 6 a.m. or there's wind. So I guess that's my question is like, how many, do you know what's slated for Vegas as far as how many indoor, how many outdoor?
We don't know the exact number yet.
Okay.
Um, but what was really cool that we are going to have features for is we're going to have the big garage doors
Okay.
so that you guys can play year round inside of there.
Okay.
Um, with it, you'll shut them down. We'll turn on the heat for you guys throughout the winter. But I think the desert's probably similar to San Antonio. April, 6 a.m., 75 degrees, kick those doors open, have a nice
Oh
breeze
yeah.
coming through. And then in the winter, we'll lock them up and shut them down and turn on the heat for you guys. So
Oh,
we'll
that's cool.
definitely got you covered through all seasons.
Yeah, and that's how it is for like I'll play a lot. I play year round, but like even in the winter. I mean, you go out and you play just
Yeah.
for a handful of minutes and you're already warmed up. But especially if you're
Mhm.
waiting, that's when you're like, oh my, like my neighbor has a fire pit. Like so
Yeah.
when we're waiting to play, I'm like, all right, you can stay nice and warm. But yeah, that's what I was wondering. I didn't realize that they were, part indoor, part outdoor. So
Yep.
so that's really cool. I was. Oh, go ahead. Were you gonna say something else?
No, no, no. You're good, man.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. What about and then what about like there's obviously a lot of retired people here in Vegas that love to
Mhm.
play. Like, do you feel like it's kind of a, it's kind of a space for them as well?
Oh, totally. In San Antonio specifically, we have a group that plays from 8 to 10 a.m., and it's specifically just our senior group. So
Okay.
they take over all the courts from 8 to 10 a.m. every morning. And then they even bleed out into the day. They often book reservations afterwards, so they can make a whole morning of it.
Okay.
I have one lady, Cindy. Cindy who comes in on Wednesday mornings, and she gets there at 8 a.m. and won't leave until noon. And that's her pickleball.
Yeah.
And there's no stopping
That's cool.
her.
That's so cool. I know.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And then we also, as you know, pickleball doesn't really discriminate as much age-wise in at least the intermediate skill level. Once you're at about the 3.5, a 3.5 19-year-old is the equivalent of a 3.5 55-year-old. You know,
Oh
they're
yeah.
kind of in that same range. So you're going to see all ages across our leagues as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
as far as like, well, I know because here's the thing: I'll go and play in the morning, and I'll really get into
Hmm.
it, and we're like, I'm like, just or you get in a groove, or you're getting, playing. I usually play doubles, so getting in a good groove with people, and then I'll be like, oh my goodness, I have an appointment. Well, thankfully, that appointment's like I'm going to go talk to somebody about pickleball, but I'm always like, man, I got an appointment right now. But it's interesting because all the retired people at the course will always be like, hey, when you're retired, you can play all day long, and I'm like, I know, don't rub it in my
Yeah.
face. So so how do
You're getting
you?
there, Miles.
I
You're getting
know.
there.
I actually am getting there. I'm already 48, so I'm like, and I feel it sometimes too when I'm out there playing. Let me ask you, as far as like, just if you can kind of, I'm trying to picture it, right? I'm kind of more visual. Like, what is like, because I haven't seen anything or looked at anything yet. Like logistically, like what is it? How is it laid out? Like from the food to the
Okay.
courts.
Yeah. All right. So, let me take you through your dream afternoon, Miles.
Okay.
All right. You're gonna walk in. It is, you know what? We'll go with April or May. It's a Tuesday in May. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
The sun's out. It's probably about 7:15. It's about to go down. It's about 80 degrees, so not too hot. Nice little breeze coming. And then as you walk in through our front gate, what you're gonna first see is you're gonna see the big giant game yard. Game yard is going to be covered with tables and chairs, but yet at the same time going to be having tons of games inside of it. You're
Okay.
going to see Giant Connect 4, Giant Jenga, Battleship. We've even got a giant battleship for people to play on. And then as you walk down that main street, we like to call that main alleyway, Main Street there.
Yeah.
You're going to also see pickleball courts on both sides of you. So you're going to see on the other side of the restaurant as well, you'll see pickleball courts.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be people playing, having fun. In the beer gardens inside of there, you'll probably catch somebody watching a game. They're watching the NBA playoffs right now. Servers coming out with a nice cold 6-pack of Modelo, putting it out on the table. You can start to smell the barbecue because we've been smoking all day. Then you're going to go inside. And inside, you'll see our giant main bar. Our
Okay.
main bar is going to have roughly about 30 plus taps of all local brews. So you guys will be able to get whatever you want from there. And then as you go to the main line, you're going to see the giant menu boards. And this is where I alluded to earlier. We're going to talk about the NKC Hot because that's going to be exactly what you want. You're going to take we're gonna have our chicken. It's gonna be deep fried. It's gonna have some spicy slaw on it, our hot sauce, pickles, and it's gonna be on a brioche bun. Get that with the sweet potato fries. Now you've moved upstairs. You're on the rooftop, and you're overlooking the whole property. You can see the indoor courts, the outdoor courts. People are just having fun, and you've got a beer, a breeze, and you've got a phenomenal chicken sandwich in front of you. That's what people can expect to see.
Wow. Wow. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Chris. I didn't eat lunch before we jumped on. Now I'm like really hungry. I think I might go get some chicken.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, like I think that's what's awesome about it. And I always talk to people, like some of our customers, about this with pickleball. It's just it's so much more. I mean, even just this morning, I was talking to a gentleman that's talking about opening up like just a big indoor. Now obviously it's a different venue where it's solely
Yeah.
courts and it doesn't have like that social aspect to it. But he was just telling me this morning, he's like, Miles, he's like, I had a scare with stage 4 cancer, and he's like, the way I look at everything is just totally different now, right? Like I want to, yes, this is a business opportunity to open an indoor club here in Vegas, but it's so much more than that to me. Like spending time with like friends and family and, making memories. And I totally could relate because I had my own cancer scare, and it's so cool, especially the timing of it, right? Like coming out of COVID and just like connecting with people. And I mean, I almost think about it like golf. Like I'm terrible at golf, right? But I'm thinking like, okay, pickleball, I can go like hang out. And when you're on a court with your friends or family or whoever, like people don't care about, your occupation or where neighborhood you live in, or, it's like it has nothing to do. You're like, it's fun. And I like, I think that's why I love, the whole concept that you guys are doing. Like, and I can't tell you, I go to the courts and everybody talks about it, right? Like anytime pickleball gets brought up, or we're talking about indoor clubs, or, because we kind of have a pulse on just about everything that's going on in the city pickleball wise. And that's it's always chicken and pickle. And it's like the coolest name ever too, right? Like, the fact that you could just take an afternoon or whatever and just go and play. So I don't know how well the play would mix with alcohol and pickleball, but I don't know, maybe it improves your play. Who knows?
Just like your analogy to golf, it gets better.
Yeah. Does it?
There's about a 3-drink diminishing return I've found.
Yeah.
So that's about the range where it starts to go back downhill. But everything up until then, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just thinking
But
about that
I
because
love
it's kind of
what
like
you were saying there,
like a
Miles.
social. Yeah. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No. I was just saying, I love what you were saying about just pickleball bringing people together. There is something special about that wiffle ball that happens to just melt a lot of the things that are around us and melt a lot of the world that's around us, and
Yeah.
and really just let us hone in and focus and find a little bit more center on the people around us. So being present with it, and I don't know how it has that magic, right? That little
Yeah.
yellow ball, but it can capture our attention, and it can capture a lot of emotions inside of it too. So I loved what you were saying there.
Yeah, I know we tried to connect before, we caught up today to get on this, this podcast. But what does the director of fun do for Chicken and Pickle?
Oh man, so I like to say if it's anything but the kitchen, that's what I'm in charge of, right?
Okay.
If keep it outside of alcohol in the kitchen, that's what I like to oversee. So
Yeah.
if you guys come to any one of our tournaments, most likely I've designed that, put that together for you. I like to oversee a lot of the pickleball department as well, overseeing our ice skating rinks. And then we've also got some fun, different big events that we do throughout the years that I'm a part of. So
Okay.
UFC fights, basically anything that puts a smile on your face, I probably had a hand in it.
That's cool. Now, are you over all of the, nationwide, or specifically for this Vegas location?
So I oversee all the pickleball departments at Chicken and Pickle. Yep.
Okay. That's cool. And I
Yeah.
know, and before we even got on, I'm like, I already like this guy, Chris, because I could see the paddles behind your head. So I'm like,
Thanks, man.
so,
Yeah,
so
these are our paddles throughout the years that we've been working on and putting together. Some of them will never see the light of day, so get a good look while you can.
so what do you mean? You've been working on them, like you're manufacturing them, or what do you mean?
So different samples for whatever reason. So we would try to do a different face model, or we go with somebody else for a rental, or different things along that. So
Oh, I
samples
see.
throughout the years. Some of them you'll see today, like this one right here in the middle.
Yeah.
That's our rental. So if you go to any one of our stores now, that'll be one you can try.
So you guys provide that type of stuff, like actual paddles and like apparel and things like that too?
Yep, we've got you completely covered. If you show up in a suit and you're like, "Hey man, I need to play pickleball," I've got
Oh
everything
well,
you need.
you guys have thought through all the detail because
Yep.
it'll be my office currently right now. So Sunset Park is kind of the mecca right now for pickleball in Vegas because it's right by the airport. It's
Mhm.
centrally located, and there's I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's like 30 courts, and so
Yeah.
we actually leased a building for our company. And let's just say I got to kind of choose where that building was going to be because it's literally like right across the street. And I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go take a lunch, you know. But it's but then it turns into a longer lunch, and maybe I don't even eat lunch, but I'm like out on the courts playing. The only thing is you get so sweaty, then you're coming back, and so maybe for some of
It's
my
hard to hide it at that point.
yeah, for some of my appointments, I might be a little stinky or whatever, but at least I got to play pickleball. But that's cool. Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize you can actually show up and rent that kind of stuff. So how does it work then as far as because I talked to an individual this morning talking about like so and you mentioned it too, like you can reserve a court. Like can you explain a little bit more about what that looks like? I'm just familiar with the indoor club that I played at. Like I know that was kind of more of a club, but they had like open it was like open play from like night to midnight, like midnight madness. Like do you have stuff like that, or what is it? I'm just trying to wrap my head around like when I myself would be interested in playing, or maybe the people out there listening.
Yeah, so we open up reservations 2 weeks in advance.
Okay.
They open up 2 weeks to the minute. So if you want to book a court for 2 weeks from now, you would have to wait until precisely 3 o'clock to do it.
Okay.
And I don't know our exact price structure, so I don't want to say everything for you guys in this market.
Yeah.
Don't want to say anything that would
Well,
be
somebody
out.
already told me an amount,
Um,
but I'm not going to throw it out there. I don't want to put you in a pickle.
yeah, our current markets as is are $30 on weekdays,
Okay.
$40 during prime time, and then $45 on the weekends.
Okay.
And that's going to be per hour, and you can book courts in a half-hour increment.
Okay.
And through that website, you can also book your paddles to rent and your ball as well if you need them.
Okay. That's so cool that you guys actually can rent paddles. It happened to me the
Yep.
other day. I was going to play. My buddy, I was already on the other side of Vegas, and my house was on the completely other side. And he's like texting me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go play." And I'm like, "We don't have a paddle," but just those little things, like
Yep.
thinking through that you can actually get that while you're there. That's awesome. And I was thinking as well, like so it's kind of, and then you guys host your own tournaments. Is that right?
We do. Yep. We host fun tournaments, so fun different themed tournaments. One of our greatest tournament that we are very well known for is our Can in Hand tournament.
Okay.
So we work with local breweries and they partner up with them and they provide a free can of beer and you have to keep that can in one hand while you're playing the whole time. So we have tournaments like that. We also have very big national tournaments as well.
Okay. I didn't really see
Yeah.
in my
So
mind, I thought it was literally like your name. I thought it was just chicken and pickle. Like I didn't realize like the kids leagues too, right? Like you're saying you like do you have designated nights and you're saying for kids too, right?
yep, we're gonna have kids leagues. We're gonna have kids summers camps. Yep. So I wish I could say what we couldn't have. Right? We're gonna have
Yeah.
it all.
Okay.
So yep.
So I'm familiar. I played like a city league here in Vegas, and it was kind of set up where you would show up at like a designated time, and it was kind of almost like round robin where you just switch partners. Is it kind of similar
Mhm.
with like what it would be for like kids leagues?
So kids leagues, we would probably end up doing them the same way that we've done in our past markets, where you can
Okay.
either pair up with your partner,
Okay.
or it'll be a one like you have where you swap partners. It depends on the market.
Okay.
If you have a little bit more established of a market where kids already kind of know people a little bit more and they play a little bit more often, you
Okay.
can have them sign up with their partners. If it's just a bunch of kids that are trying to really grow the game and see what the area is like, we'll do sign up individually and you switch your partner every single night.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it all depends on the market, and we'll see how many people are there and
yeah.
what the exact demand is.
Okay. No, you mentioned it already. The projected date again, and I know it's, excuse me, I know it's construction, so we don't ever hold anybody to an exact date. But you're projecting this next year then, right?
Yep, so probably around summer of 2024.
Okay. Well, people are definitely counting down to when it opens, and I personally can't wait to come check it out. I mean, I just want to get my kids. It's such a new sport that I'm like, the earlier I can get my kids exposed to the game and like kind of in a fun environment, because even with I have an older boy that's 19, and I feel like almost with sports, that's when people burn out, right? Like it's when it's not fun anymore. So I'm like, this is a venue that you come and it's like, oh wait, pickleball's fun. It's cool. Like it's all ages, like, so I just, I didn't realize that like these life-size games that you guys do, I kept, when I first heard about it, I thought, and being Vegas, I thought, oh, this is going to be tailored to, people that are of age to be able to drink and to be able to play pickleball at the same time, or like kind of more just, I thought more just bar/pickleball. But to hear kind of that kid element is like super cool. So I'm excited to be able to take them. And I hope, I don't know, maybe the person that's actually doing the courts. I'll have to ask you. But if you can put in a good word. But yeah, we would love to be able to do those courts. But regardless, I'm definitely gonna be there playing, and I can't wait for you guys to make it happen in Vegas. So do you guys normally have one location in a city? I'm sure it depends on what the market demands, but do you ever have more than one location in a city?
Yeah, it really depends on the city.
Okay.
In Dallas, we have 2 stores currently. We're going to be opening up a third.
Okay.
So that particular market, we have 3 stores. In Kansas City, you can say we have 2-ish. You have one in North Kansas City and one in Overland Park, which are about a half hour apart.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely, if the demand's there, we'll put it there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to already put a plug in for the Northwest, because right now Henderson's the exact opposite of where my house is. But
All right.
yeah, I'm sure it will take off, and so many people. It's just like the buzz. I mean, it's not even here yet, and it's like there's just such a buzz about it, and the name is so catchy. But now that I'm hearing more about the detail, I just think it's gonna, take off. I mean, I'm sure it's the perfect market. I mean, you said entertainment, and this is, in my opinion, like the entertainment capital, being Vegas. So let me ask you this, just kind of wrapping up. Is there anything that, we have a lot of people, I've been doing this 18 years in Vegas with sports construction. Of course, we've got a lot of people that love pickleball. Is there anything that you want to just kind of wrapping up, say, in kind of closing for those people that are, thinking about chicken and pickle coming to Vegas?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I can say is we're going to have fun for everybody. And one of our biggest things is making sure that the guest has the absolute best time there. So we have a very modular area. So when you guys come on in, we can make it with anything that you want. If you want to have a quiet time where you just sit there and play pickleball with the adults, or you want to go up onto the rooftop and have a beer, or if you want to let all the kids play while you guys hang outside and just eat tater tots until your mouth's full, or fried pickles.
Yeah.
Oh, basically just anything that you guys want to do. Our job is to try to make it happen.
Yeah. See that? I love that. I love like how well thought out this facility is. I mean, I think because it's every time is different for me. If I'm with my kids, it would be a totally different thing. But if I'm showing up with my friends that are like, hey, we want to play challenge level, like the fact that it can accommodate that too. Like it's interesting. I never would have thought about it like being that tailored to whoever's coming there to play. So anyway, I cannot wait. I'm glad that I got to meet you, and when I heard you're the director of fun, I'm like, that's my guy. We gotta have him on the podcast. So yeah, thank you for taking the time, and I know that we've kind of flashed up your contact information if there's any other questions, and yeah, we'll let our guests know too when it's going to actually be happening. So looking forward to it. So
Thanks, Miles. You rock, brother.
Yeah, thank you for the time, and just yeah, thank you for the time, and then just everybody out there, remember to like and share and comment. So thanks again.